Killer. I will explain myself momentarily, but first, Larry's been hanging on the line. Larry, appreciate your patience. You're on 11:30 a.m. Detroit Sports Talk. Hi, Larry.
How you doing? And I hear you've got a birthday boy there. Sean, happy birthday, and thank you for wishing me, reminding me that I'm older too, so I'm just returning the favor.
No, this is not. No, it isn't. This isn't. It is. All right, somebody's in. Okay, you know what, Larry? I think I'm going to go vomit in the garbage right now. I kind of feel sick to my. I met you about 23 years ago, and I couldn't say anything to you. I was like a 17-year-old kid, and you were trying your hardest to like talk to me and be nice, and I like had that moment, Larry, where I literally I couldn't say anything, and I'm kind of having that moment right now. Except here's the problem: I'm 39 and I have 2 kids, and I'm kind of embarrassed at myself right now, Larry.
Well, I'm 59 and I've got 3 grandkids. So that shows you how old we are.
Do you want to tell everybody who you're talking to?
This is Larry Robinson. This is like my this is my boyhood hero and everything. So I'm really flustered right now. Larry, what prompted this call? I'm a little confused and taken aback right now. Well,
I think a couple of your buddies kind of set you up. But,
yeah.
But that's okay, Sean. I said, if you couldn't talk 17 years ago, I figured you might be able to at least say a couple of words now. So.
No, really, I'm stunned actually, Larry. No, you know what was funny, Larry? I got to be honest with you. When they retired your jersey a couple years back and everything, my son at the time was 7. And I was watching it, and my son, is kind of like that role reversal thing because it took me back to like when I was a kid, and I sat there, and my son looked at me, he goes, "Oh my goodness, Dad, you look like a kid right now." And then he was like, "Is that a tear in your eye?" And I was like, "No, that's not a tear in my eye." That was like the coolest thing. I mean, the one thing that you have to say, I mean, not only, when they retire your jersey, but certainly last December when they had the 100th anniversary and all that, the 100th birthday party, the way that they do things up in Montreal, Larry, I mean, it's got to choke at you as well.
Yeah, it is. They do things right. I mean, I was watching some of the playoffs, and I was probably as surprised as anybody that they were still in the playoffs as long as they were. But, I mean, just look at those games, and, man, it brings back a lot of memories when I was out there and the fans are cheering you on. And I'm telling you what, it can make ordinary players play a heck of a lot better when you've got fans like that behind you.
Larry, the one thing I've kind of told everybody about you as a player is the fact that you are the type of guy I think that you could play any style. You are the guy that could go end to end. You were the guy that if circumstances called for it, would drop the gloves and would take on hammer. I think a lot of people talk about that. And when you look back at those teams, you were such an integral part. But the amount of talent on those teams back in the day. I mean, the big 3 on the blue line, Kenny Dryden in the net, and obviously what you had up front. That had to have been a blast for you.
Well, I look at from my coaching experience and as every coach, you kind of look down, and I think it's changed a little bit now. But it used to be you'd look at your 3rd and 4th line and you go, "Gee, well, when am I going to get them in? I got to get my best 2 lines on." Back then, I mean, all you had to do was open the door because our 4th line wasn't any weaker than our 2nd or our 1st line, other than they had different roles. But it was a special time. We had, as you said, we had some great players, but not only that, we had some great guys too, and they're memories that we're able to live with and as you say, to cherish and everything else. So I feel very honored to have been part of it.
Hey, Larry, I got to ask you a question. I'm going to take you back to your coaching days. Do you remember many years ago when you went on a little bit of a rant after a game about the referees and the holding and players diving, and you talked about 60 goals? Do you remember that?
Yeah, that's when I said, "Oh, they're whining just like a bunch of poor little babies," and I was kind of referring to, I think in every sport, I guess, your top guys, your superstars, they do get a little preferential treatment, and so I was just referring to how would these superstars like to work like all the rest of us did, and and take the hooking and the holding and pounding and everything else, and not have the referees protecting them. So I don't know. It was one of those moments. I was more trying to get my guys going as much as make my point to the referees, because as a coach, you're not just thinking of that game. You're trying to work them for the next game too.
Well, Larry, if you ever want to relive that moment, all you need to do is tune into the station, because we play that rant, I would say, an average of once or twice a day.
Larry, I'm an old school guy, and those are the most prophetic words about the state of the game as far as I'm concerned. I'm not going to ask you to say anything else, but I think that says what a lot of us are feeling, and I'll leave it at that. I can't believe this. Larry Robinson joining us this morning on 11:30 a.m. Detroit Sports Talk. You know what's funny, Larry? I was thinking, and yeah, I am flustered. I've turned into a child, and I apologize for that. Just as a memory, when I met you, you were actually out with the broken leg from polo.
Yep.
Yeah.
And guess where I am right now?
At the polo field?
No, I'm on a horse. I'm on a horse riding. We're actually heading up to Canada. Young girl works for me and myself. When you're in Florida here, you got to get up around 6 o'clock and get going, because it's already 80 degrees. So we're trying to just get a few of our young horses and horses that we're going to keep up for the summer. We're trying to just leg them up before we make the trip. So I headed out over here at around I was up at 6 o'clock and then headed over here, and I knew that I'd be on the radio guy with you guys this morning. So I said, what a better way to do it than to sit on the back of a horse and talk to some good friends.
Well, I appreciate that greatly. Hey, we're not going to keep you. Let me ask you one more thing, because you mentioned your days of coaching, and I remember you had an interesting comment after you won the Cup with the Devils and everything. You said, hey, it's great. I'm not disrespecting winning the Cup as a player, but you felt there was more in regards to that feeling of accomplishment was greater as a coach. Can you expound on that?
Oh, well, as I found out, and you know what, it's so much different now, because now you've got DVDs and replays and all this other stuff. Hell, the year that I won the Cup, I'd be up until 2:30 in the morning, looking at tapes and going over tapes and trying to figure out, okay, what are these guys going to do tomorrow? Because we were playing back-to-back. We don't play once on Friday and then the next time on the following Friday. So, you're always preparing. So when the playoffs started, I mean, it was like I was working 14, 15 hours a day nonstop. And all of a sudden now, instead of looking after yourself, you're having to look after 23 guys and make sure your 23 guys are ready, and make sure that you've got, all the films ready, and that, there's just tons and tons of preparation, and it's nonstop for 2.5 months. So I just felt that, for an accomplishment for a coach, winning, it's bringing 23 guys together. Accomplishing it as a player, you have to depend on everybody else. And so it was just a great feeling.
I would say, hey, Larry, I can't tell you. I mean, again, it just goes to show me what a classy guy you are, that you have to call some 39-year-old guy who acts like he's 13 when he talks to his boyhood hero. But, hey, best of luck to you, Larry. I mean, thank you so much for the memories, and you're such a class act. We really appreciate it.
Thanks, Sean. And don't forget, the only reason I played until I was 42 because I never grew up. So don't ever lose that boyhood feeling, and you'll last a lot longer doing it.
Well, you know what, I Larry, no disrespect, I try to forget the days of you wearing numero 19 in L.A., so I try to forget that, but God bless you just the same, Larry.
Okay, Sean, thank you.
All right.
Have a great birthday.
Thank you very much. Happy belated birthday to you. Bye-bye. You guys, thank you. That was very nice. I think I'm going to go cry now, okay? Did you know about this?
Yeah.
You knew this was coming too?
Doug's been said we started this, I believe, after the show when you were wishing him happy birthday. We got to after the show. We said, can we get him on the phone? And Doug made it happen.
Can I explain something to you? I tried so hard to acquit myself better than as a 17-year-old down at Joe Louis Arena, and I don't think it worked. I think Larry was like, I'm never talking to that guy again. The heck's wrong with him? No, I didn't.
You were very composed. Yes, you were.
No, I wasn't.
Yes, you were.
No, I wasn't. He's probably going, oh my gosh, he even remembers that I had a broken leg from playing polo. What the heck?
Well, I did. There was one stipulation because Doug does have like all his, and Doug can tell you this. He's the nicest guy in the world. Doug has all his phone numbers, and the stipulation was that you do not get any of them.
Bill Waters up in Toronto said the same thing. He goes, oh yeah, I see Larry all the time. I'm not going to let you know where he lives. Okay, cool.
But you do know where he lives.
It's a good decision.
But you do know where he lives.
I do know where he lives. I have my ways. All right, I'm going to go vomit now. It's cool. Yeah, we're going to break, and I'm going to try to compose myself, and we'll come back, and, I got to make some phone calls.